Hello, and for those who are watching this, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, possibly good night. Today we're going to start it off a little bit different today. Um, if I'm venting, I'm venting, I apologize. I'm not meaning to do this. But for those who are out there who are struggling, as most of us are, it's a lesson in letting go. This is mainly, again, a message to myself, because like most people, I feel like I'm struggling a bit. And just some things that have been happening in my life, I'm not trying to be negative. I don't want to put negative vibes out there. I don't want to be down. Because I feel like whenever I vent or talk, venting can be bad, but talking about issues is good. It's a weird fine line. And I'm not trying to put negative energy out there like, oh, poor me. Because I know not just me, everybody's struggling in some form or fashion. But lately I'm getting a lesson in learning to let go. In fact, it's kind of funny. My guys keep saying, bro, let go. Get out of your own way. It's I keep being told that, I'm awesome and I'm supposed to do great things in this life and things are supposed to get much better, actually quite shortly. But I feel like I've been hearing that for years. Oh, everything's better tomorrow. In fact, lately what's been going on in my life, talk about it in a positive way despite it being kind of negative. I have felt like I've been struggling. I live alone, which is pretty uncommon these days for someone to be able to live alone. So there's a negative and positive aspect. I'm going to go over both. I'm not just going to sit here and complain. For those who've been watching my videos know I lost a job within the last couple of months, found another one. But I was extremely devastated. It was a job I was at for 3 years, and I forget, companies are companies. They're not my friends. I felt like they were, but at the end of the day, I'm just a paycheck. So I was devastated. I was worried financially. Found a job in 2 weeks. Got me a nice little vacation. Found a job in 2 weeks, and my bills were all paid. I was good. I'm good. I actually didn't have any issues in the transition other than just being depressed. Now, I was putting off a car repair because it was, $800-900, and this is supposed to be my second paycheck from this new job. So I've only been there a month or two now, maybe, and I have to get a $900 car repair. I have nothing in the savings. It's one of those. It's been kind of a rough transition. Now, I was told by guides, angels, whatever, the universe, God, that I'm supposed to be, oh no, dropping my cards everywhere. I'm shuffling as I'm doing this, so. Supposed to be in a mode of receiving, and it's okay to reach out and ask for help, and trying something a little different. Normally, I don't ask for help, I always feel like I have to do my stuff myself, and that's related to trauma. I understand that. So I said, okay, I'm gonna reach out for help. My family members were gonna try to help me out financially because, I had lost my job previously. But of course, everyone in this world is struggling. So when it actually came kind of time to, I was like, you know what? My bills are paid, but I could use some help with this car repair. Okay, sure. Well, finally came around to it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna need at least this much amount of money. It doesn't seem like a lot, just some kind of help. Take off the edge because I'm gonna have to finance it and just put a nice down payment. I'm gonna be in debt. Well, it turns out, again, life's been kicking everyone's ass. They couldn't. They couldn't help me. So that was my grandma, and she recommended that I talk to my mom, who I don't ever talk to, ever. We are not on good terms in my mind. I'm actually not on good terms with any of my parents. I was gonna say any of my family, but that's not true. So I've reached out. My mom reached out and said, "Hey, my grandma told me you need help fixing a car. What's wrong with it? Is it drivable?" Asked me a couple questions. I forwarded all the information. I told her, "Yeah, it's such and such. It's a $800-900 fix. I don't have the cash on hand right now. I'm gonna have to figure something out, and it is slowly getting worse, so it needs to be done soon." She said, "Okay, I will text you when I figure out a mechanic." A day later, I'm not 100% sure I have a mechanic, but I'm pretty positive I do. I will text you when I know 100% sure. The day I'm recording this is 4/26. The last time she texted me was 4/9. So it's been about 2 to 3 weeks, going on 4 weeks. Um Part of me is just like, well, I couldn't trust her, blah blah blah. But again, I have to acknowledge stuff happens. Maybe she thought she had someone and then it turns out she couldn't. Point is, I felt like I was told to reach out and ask for help, and when I did, nothing happened. It's like self-defeating. It's like, well, I did what you asked. I reached out and I felt like I got nothing. So it's been a struggle to change my perspective and my thought patterns and my stories, because history seems to repeat itself. But the fun thing is, it's because it's all in our head. The reality around us is a reflection of how we feel inside. So, say for instance, someone who always believes in the negative, it will always happen. I used to be extremely pessimistic as a kid. Something I kind of had to work on. I'm still working on it, not saying I'm not. But if you always expect the worst outcome, then you're going to get the worst outcome. I mean, bad stuff does happen, just naturally. It's just how it goes. Obviously, I didn't plan on getting fired. That was quite a shock to me. But the positive side of it is, even after all that, yeah, I'm a little upset because again, when you have expectations and they don't go the way you expect it, then you tend to get upset. Tend to. That's how most people function. Expectations aren't met, we get depressed or upset or angry. I'm being asked to let go. Because in reality, yeah, I may have lost my job at that time, but I found a new one reasonably fast. All my bills are paid. I'm not out of a house, I'm not on the streets. Again, I have another job. So in the positivity, now I don't exactly know how to be positive about reaching out and not getting help. I understand. I mean, I'm frustrated, but I understand. Life is difficult for everyone. I'm not going to hold it against them. But either way, the point is, I'm still safe. I'm still okay. And I always will be. Even in the bad, even in the. Because right now, I'm kind of stuck in my own head. I literally almost walked out and not got my car repaired. Because I had to get it financed. And I thought my credit was pretty decent. But of course, because I've been struggling, I haven't been making payments on my credit card. It's not late, it's just not great. And that's the only line of credit I have right now. So I got rejected for the first financing thing, and the second thing came up, and it's like, well, you basically have to pay it back in 3 months. I'm just like, oh my god, I can't do this. I'm literally telling them to give me my key back, and I'm about to just walk out. They're like, no, 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 relax. It's okay. We'll figure this out. They sat there and they walked through all the options, and I'm just like, I gotta get it done. Because if I don't fix my car, then I don't have a car, then I don't have a job, things will just get worse. So part of that is letting go, is knowing even though these things come up, you gotta let go and trust and be like, all right, even though these things come up, I'll be okay. I'm gonna be okay. I'm always okay. He's gotta, one of those fake it till you make it. If you don't truly believe it, because I'm still on that fence, Like I said, if I look back and see these negative things that happened or prospectively believe they're negative, they were also followed up with something very positive. So I'm learning to see both the positive and the negatives. Yes, this may have happened, but look what the outcome was. Yes, this thing may have happened too, but it's because it no longer served you. I keep going back to this job thing because I outgrew it. Even though I'm still stuck energetically a little bit on the job and I'm still actually kind of angry about it, even though it's been months. I'm still frustrated. But it truly served me because that was a job that I outgrew. I actually got to the point that I hated going. I worked there 3 days, 3 years, and I was just kind of numb. I came in, I did my job, I left. I didn't really like the people around me. I didn't really resonate with them anymore. And if you want to talk about it in negative aspects, I was being used. My boss got upset with me when I told him I was no longer doing doubles. I was like, you know what? I'm paying my bills, and I'm kind of tired of working like a dog. I don't have enough free time to myself. I'm burning myself out for a job that doesn't give two fucks about me. And that was the truth. I didn't tell him that, but I realized that. I'm just like, so I'm just going to work my schedule. I'm not going to work anymore. I'm not going to let them do that to me anymore. So in reality, it's a positive thing. So letting go. And I've always been stuck on that, and it actually kind of upsets me because I don't understand. For the longest time, I kept asking, it's like, all right, I keep being told to let go. I keep getting told to let go. What does this mean? I researched it, I Googled it, I YouTubed it. It's like, what does it truly mean to let go? And even to today, I still don't even know if I have a solid answer. But the answer I've gotten to is trust. I'm gonna Google search it now. One of my favorite quotes that keeps playing over and over in my head was from a book I read. It's a novel. When I say a novel, it's an epic novel. What that means is the thing was over 900 pages. Not a very light read. It was a really good book. It actually literally took me 2 to 3 months to read it. And that was reading like 4 or 5 hours a day. But one of the main characters who seemed enlightened in the book, the Mr. I have all the answers, I'm a tycoon, I'm basically enlightened, is the best way to describe it. Fuck off. Stupid ads. He was talking to another one of the characters, and they're like, dude, how do you do it? I mean, I'm a business tycoon, I'm making tons of money too, but I'm not like you. I don't feel like you. I'm not happy. I still feel like something's missing. And they basically had a heart to heart conversation about life itself. And the guy who was enlightened, he had a fancy name. I can't honestly remember their names because it's been years. But the quote goes, he said, look, if you saw Atlas, and for those who don't know who that is, Atlas is a Greek god who essentially has been told to hold up the earth. Um, let me give you a better definition of this. Come on. Atlas was a powerful titan, not a god, sorry, in famous Greek mythology, being punished by Zeus and made to hold the heavens on his enormous shoulders, aka the earth. You've ever seen the picture of the guy holding up a planet on his shoulders? That's Atlas. He's a titan. Condemned to hold up the sky or heavens for eternity after the war between the Titans and the Olympians. So that is who that guy is. I'm sure if you've ever seen art, you've seen the statue of a guy holding up a planet. Although it's supposed to be the heavens and the earth and the sky and everything, essentially it's a metaphor for you holding the weight of the world on your shoulders. That is his punishment. He is being forced to hold all the weight of the world, all the sins, all the heaviness, all the density on his shoulders. And here's the quote from the book. If you saw Atlas, the giant who holds the worlds on his shoulders, if you saw that he stood, blood running down his chest, his knees buckling, his arms trembling. Sorry, I don't know why I'm getting emotional. But still trying to hold the world aloft with the last of his strength. And the greater his efforts, the heavier the world bore down upon his shoulders. What would you tell him? And the guy actually sat there, he goes, I don't know. What could he do? What would you tell him? The other guy replied, shrug. And that literally just blew my brain. It was one of those epiphany moments. I'm just like, wow, okay. And if it didn't click for you, what it meant for me was shrug. So what? Yeah, okay. I've got all this weight on my shoulders. I feel like the world's bearing down. I live alone. I live in fight or flight mode, constantly worried about my bills. I'm feel alone in every aspect. I don't have people to help me. I don't really talk to my family. I don't have friends. I don't date. I, in every aspect, feel alone. And I feel like I'm constantly relying on myself and I don't get help. And even though a lot of that's fallacies, I've proven it to myself time and time again, shrug. It's just like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of holding the weight on the world, and not in a depressive, oh my god, I quit. It's just like, it's gotta laugh. It almost seems psychotic, but you gotta laugh. You gotta shrug. It's just like, whatever, man. Whatever. It's okay. Just shrug. Shrug. What do you do? You buckle and collapse? You throw the weight off your shoulders? I mean, it's always gonna be there. It's always how it's gonna feel. So you shrug. I can't really explain it. If you get it, you get it. But that's part of the whole letting go thing is it's okay. Being at peace is a lot of a term that I feel like people don't really get because I still struggle with it myself. But being at peace is about knowing what's going on around you, but still being okay. It's finding the peace inside, not outside. You don't have to be on some beach in Tahiti with a margarita in your hand to find peace. If you're looking for peace externally, you're never going to find it. That old adage of if you're looking for it, you're not going to find it. This is something I have to remind myself time and time again. In fact, feels like that quote is tattooed on my brain. Every now and then I'm struggling and that plays in my head. It's just like, just shrug, dude. It's okay. And it does frustrate me that even though I've seen miracles, I've done miracles, I've manifested silly stuff like the car that I'm getting fixed right now. I manifested that. Before I got that job, let's go back a little bit and seems a negative turned into a positive. So both my family members, my dad and my stepmom, lost their jobs. And this was 3, 4 years ago. And I was living with them. Everything I knew came to a crash. They're like, hey, we're selling the house, we're moving to Oklahoma. They literally gave me like not even a month. They're just like, yeah, you got like 3 or 4 weeks. Good luck. And the car I had was breaking on me. I was not in a great spot. What happened was I manifested my car. I got a car exactly what I wanted. Like, I was looking for a Honda or Toyota, and I remember having dreams about me driving it before I had the car. It's been the same car I've had for over 4 years now. It's been extremely reliable. I bought a good car. And that was the scariest part, was buying, a lemon, a bad car. I went from dealership to dealership. I had to finance it. And of course, you're terrified of buying a car that turns out to be a piece of crap and just causing issues down the road. And because I've had that happen too. I bought a car and find out a year later I had to get another new car. So it's always terrifying to get a car. Unless you're buying it new, buying a used car is always terrifying. Doesn't matter who you buy it from. Of course, my car has quirks. It's got its quirks. But what I like, my sister says, is it's got personality. And that's true. It definitely has a personality. And this apartment, no, it's not the best. I don't talk to any of my neighbors. I don't necessarily like the neighbors above me. It is what it is. It's a situation you just kind of have to learn to live with. Try to respect people the best you can. But I was, of course, flipping out. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to have a place to live. Am I really expected to find an apartment in a month? 2, 3 weeks at max? Like, really? I was flipping out. I had to find a car. I had to find an apartment. I was not good space mentally. And of course, the apartment people kind of dicking around with me. It's a kind of a long story. But basically, my ass has been in an apartment. Even living alone, working alone without roommates. And of course, my parents wouldn't co sign either. They wouldn't help me in that aspect. They allowed my sister to. They allowed every other member of This Is Bitterness coming through. I understand. But they wouldn't do it for me. They helped my sister get an apartment. They helped my sister get a car. They helped my stepfamily get a car by co signing on everything. And of course, they destroyed their credit doing that. Not my sister. She's actually fiscally responsible. But all these, and this is why part of the reason I don't feel like I can get help, is because they extended the hand to all the other family members but me. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, seriously, you really? But even with what felt like the world being against me, I still made it happen. Or I say I made it happen. The universe, God. I'm still touchy about the whole God. I say the universe. It's God, the universe, whatever. But it still happened. I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm still kicking. I still live a pretty comfortable life, despite all this stress and all this worrying and all these issues in my head. I'm still here. And I've still got this. So this is a lesson in learning to let go. Yes, shit may suck. Stuff happens. But going with the flow is something I've been trying really hard to learn, and this yet again is another lesson. It's okay. It's okay. So, after all that talking and smack and flapping my gums, shit, I'm finally gonna do a reading. I have my shadow deck here, Wisdom of the Shadow. So sometimes, let me just recap really quick. Letting go. For those who don't understand it, it's still not clicking. It's because again, I used to have frustration around this. Every video I looked at, every person I talked to, just like, let go, man. It's like, okay, how? Well, you just let go. Like, all right, how? Well, it's kind of hard to explain. You just let go. I'm like, all right, tell me let go one more time. I'm gonna let these fists go in your face. Something kind of like that. Like, all right, just no. I don't really think it's a concept you can explain to someone else. Because again, it's still something I'm learning. I'm still learning to do it. In fact, when you ask the universe or God for something, it's like, hey, God, show me how to let go. Well, then crap gets heavy. I have a $900 car bill I have to pay off. I lost my job. I blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, what the hell? But it's showing me how to let go. Let go of control, let go of the past, let go just in general. Because it's not a punishment. It's, unfortunately, it is a beatdown. But it's a beatdown to get you to a certain point to where you have to let go. It's like either you drive yourself mad into a fucking corner with anxiety and fear, and I'm gonna get a little dark here. Ultimate, you X yourself, you give up, or you learn to just. The picture I'm getting in my head is maybe it was an anime, maybe it was a TV show, but this guy just stands outside in the rain with his face up to the sky, getting rained on, just laughing, just like, all right, whatever, man. And you can physically feel the tension in your body releasing. You can feel the weight off your shoulders. You shrug. You feel it. You physically feel, you're just like, all right, I'm done. I can't hold up anymore. I can't. It's like, for instance, I guess the best example I could use, say you work a lot and you plan events, you're a coordinator, you're a very busy businessman, you got this account to settle, you got that account to go, blah 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 blah, and then you feel yourself hitting a max pinnacle of stress. You're just like, I'm about to have a meltdown, and then you have the meltdown, and everything just kind of deflates. Now you're just lost, and you're almost discombobulated. For those who don't know what that means, you're just spacey. You're just like, that's letting go. Finally, you're at a point that you physically can't hold on anymore. So you're asked to let go. Trying to control everything, trying to. And that's been one of my biggest issues. Because trying to control is from trauma. Like I said, I felt like I've constantly had to work for everything. And I constantly have to control everything. Or else I don't feel like it's going to go right. So the biggest thing I'm being told to is let go and get out of my own way. Because I am still trying to control. For the longest time, I've been told this a lot too. Because again, it's been a reoccurring theme and it's going to keep reoccurring until you figure it out. I'm being told to let go and get out of my own way. Let go and get out of my own way. And I keep asking how. How do I do this? How do I do it? How do you show me how to let go? Show me how to get out of my own way. And finally, it clicked in my brain the other day. It's like, well, you keep trying to control stuff. You're playing loops in your head of negativity, like, oh my god, it's just so bad, it's not going to work out, blah, blah, blah. For instance, the job thing. Even after I got let go, I felt like they were sinking me. Because, of course, you try to apply for a new job, they call your old job. I applied to almost 200 different places. And the only jobs I was getting was a telecompany where I sat on a phone and read insurance claims all day for $15 an hour, which unfortunately wouldn't pay my bills. And I would hate that job more than anything. Pizza delivery driver, which necessarily wouldn't be bad. I'd be okay with that. It's just I had to fix my car before I did anything like that. And then eventually I got this UPS job, or damn it, I shouldn't have said that, but anyways, the job I have now. And again, the funniest thing is I'm literally making $1 less than what I was. So it's the closest thing I could have found. No, I don't necessarily like it. No, I don't necessarily like the people there. But it is what it is. I am grateful. As much as I don't like it, you can be grateful for something and still not like it, in a sense. I believe that's possible. I'm not exactly happy that I'm there, but I'm happy I have a job. And that almost makes me happy to be there in a weird, ass backwards kind of way. I'm happy to be there. And there are days I definitely forget that. I go into work and I hate it. I go home angry and tired, and then I gotta redirect myself and focus on the positives again. Be like, you know what? I'm glad I have a job. So we're gonna do a poll now. Further the question: Universe, God, Oracle of the Shadow deck, I ask you, how do I get out of my own way? How do I further get out of my own freaking way? Because I understand you want to help, you want to be there for me, but the issue is I am literally getting in my own damn way. I am the one preventing myself from moving forward. So, first card, Rage. That's interesting. And the reason that's popping up this time is rage of being, of thinking and feeling I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Again, I keep getting all these messages that life is supposed to be so good, it's going to get so good for me, and I'm never going to have to struggle again, or not necessarily struggle again, but basically life is supposed to be 10 times better than what it is. And I'm being told that all the time, and honestly, I'm getting to a point I am frustrated. It's like, alright, you keep telling me this amazing shit's supposed to happen, but yet I still go to my 9 to 5 job, which I technically don't like, interact with people I don't really want to. I still feel like I'm struggling financially. I'm just paying my bills. I don't have anything in my savings. It's like, what do you mean? You're gonna sit there and tell me things are awesome, and yet I don't feel like it is. Yes, I am angry. I am angry because it has not met my expectations. It is out of my control. I don't feel like I have control, and these things keep happening to me. Part of it, the trauma and the acknowledgement I've been trying to say is I feel like I'm under attack. Again, I always feel like I'm being tested and pushed and bullied in a sense, and that's something I've been trying to let go. It's even shown prevalent to me on my video games. I said it in another one of my videos. I play a game called StarCraft, and I definitely feel like I get singled out. Even though I have other teammates who can go attack, I always feel like I'm the one who gets attacked first. So it's trauma of feeling like I'm constantly under fire and constantly being tested and constantly just screwed over. Because again, this losing the job that actually wasn't my fault. I know a lot of people say that, but it truly wasn't. To not throw shade or say anything specific, basically one of my coworkers who didn't like me um, lied to my manager, and after being there for 3 years, they believed them over me. I didn't even do what they said, and without evidence, they just said leave. Yeah, I was angry. I still kind of am, even though I know it worked for my better good, and honestly, I hated that job. I'm still very angry it happened, even months later. I'm still angry at the people that I worked with. I'm still angry that it happened in general. I'm angry that I don't feel like I am where I should be. And I take it out on myself. If I'm this great, awesome person, then why do I feel like I'm living in shit? There's nothing wrong with acknowledging these feelings, but it's changing the perspective on it because I know deep down that's not true. So I'm learning to let go of the rage too, let go of the anger. Card 2, frustration. Rage and frustration. Yeah, as I was just saying. And again, the way it stacks is core wisdom is rage, underneath it, frustration. I'm just frustrated and angry. For instance, other things that happened to me. My car, my awesome, brand new chocolate limited edition car. I'm just being goofy. It's not really any limited edition. Not trying to make you think I have this really fancy car. I got hit twice, and neither of them were my fault. One of them was literally at my job, my old job, and it was one of the coworkers at the building next door. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even file a claim, because if I did, it would count against me. But basically, I got hit and run. Someone ripped a hole big enough for me to put my fist in and smashed out my taillights. Why? Yeah, why? Yes, I feel like I'm under attack. I didn't do anything to deserve that. It wasn't even karma. It's not like I did something horrible, because karma's definitely a thing. It's not like I did something horrible to someone else. It's not like I smashed out someone's light, an eye for an eye. I may door ding people here and there, but that's the worst I've ever done to someone's car. So unless maybe it is past karma for something, I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's something from this lifetime I'm just not aware of. But I sure as hell didn't feel like I deserved that. I didn't. Boy. So when stuff like that happens, it is hard for me to acknowledge that I'm not under attack. Because again, things just happen. Bad things happen. Things just. And it takes some remembering. Because I'm still stuck on that. Even months and months and months later. Tell you what, nobody else's car got hit like that. Everybody parks back there every day and nobody has an issue. So why was it my car that got fucking hit? You know, I still feel like that to this day. Like I don't. Mm. So in aspects of that, you got to learn to let that go and change the perspective of what it was. Tell you what, it was definitely a lesson learning to let go. Because you could bet your ass I wanted to go back and smash out her tail. I figured out who it was. I still know exactly who it is. And every day I went into work, I had to fight the urge to smash out her taillight. I, talking about it now, I still feel a little like, do it, do it, do it, do it. But I'm not going to, or else I would have done it by now. So, again, you asked to learn to let go, and your car gets hit. Universe, you have a sense of humor. I don't like it. Need to stop. Stop this crap. Card 3. Moving on. Courage. You can see this card. Yeah, you can see most of it. See this little lady in a boat running down a stream, in a stream of what could only be depicted as monsters. Horrendous monsters. She's in this little boat. She doesn't even have oars. Like, she has no way to control this boat. She's literally sitting on this boat going down a stream and she has no control over it. And you see all these monsters and horrible beasts sitting around her. It's definitely the epitome of courage. To sit in your boat, do not control it, just kind of going with the flow, as I was saying this whole time. These cards are definitely just reiterating what I said. So that's confirmation for you there. Because the courage is to let go and have trust that while you're going down this river, you've got this. You've still got a boat, tell you that. At least you're not drowning in the river. And if you're drowning in the river, well, you better learn how to swim. I've had so much change in these past 3 years, 4 years. I can promise you I'm not the same person I was. Even if you don't believe me, I don't give a shit. Because I know, I know it to be true. And it's all because I asked for it. I asked to change, I asked to be a different person. So, again, I gotta learn to let go of the rage and the frustration because I'm asking for this to happen. I'm asking to change still, I'm asking to learn to let go, and I'm asking to learn to trust. As I was saying before, funny enough, I've said this in a few videos. When I lost my job, the universe was actually telling me to quit. God, whatever. May sound like a crazy person, but I had a voice in my head, quit your job, quit your job, quit your job. And I was like, that could just be my ego because I don't like my job. So I dismissed it. But it didn't stop. It just kept saying, quit your job, quit your job. And I was like, look, you just want me to literally walk out on my job. It wasn't like, no, put in your 2 weeks, no, quit your job. Even though I was looking for another job, it still said, no, just quit, just quit. And I was like, look, honestly, no, I'm not gonna quit. I bet that's crazy. That's insane. You're gonna tell a guy who lives alone to just quit his job? I no. So then, to my surprise, the voice replied, "Do you not trust me?" And I admitted no. I was like, "No, I'm sorry." Ironically, the only way I'd quit my job is if I got fired. So I got fired, and then I got mad. It's like, what the hell? So I gotta learn to let go of the rage and the anger and the frustration, and just realize, even though it may seem shitty, it's for my best interest. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it is. It really is. You guys have a great day.